This video is going to cover getting started in your JuiceShop, your local environment where you've installed a few things, you've got JuiceShop running. My preference is to run Burp Suite local and browse local and run it inside of the VM. So the first video covering how to get things set up and what resources is covered in this README file. If you want to update the local IP address that Docker uses, this video covers that. This one's going to cover some more specifics, and there's not very many steps here, but I've already followed my previous two videos, and I have Burp Suite running local, so it is it's up and running. I have Chromium, and I have downloaded, or I've brought up the browser. It's like, how do I get started? So let's go back to here, and so I've started Burp Suite. I've opened Chromium. So just as a reminder, in Burp Suite, under Proxy, under Intercept, there is an open browser. I think there's another spot to do it, but I usually come here and click that. Chromium is embedded in Burp Suite, just as a reminder. And I browse the IP address, and we view the HTTP history. So it's like, how do I get started? What are those flags? There are 160 some within JuiceShop, so I put an example out here. So let's just hop over to Burp, and this is when I browse the website. These are all of the hits that happened. So I want to specifically call out scoreboard. So there is a scoreboard. That's generally the first thing, and this is a very basic introduction to using Burp Suite, but scoreboard is a place that would keep track of where you're at. So if I come back over to my Chromium browser and I type in, I think it's either score dashboard or score under. Okay, so it is score. If you typed in score dashboard, if you just notice that you've solved a challenge scoreboard. So find the carefully hidden scoreboard page, which we did within Burp. So this is a dashboard that has all of the 169 challenges, and I recommend when you get started, come in here to the difficulty and just choose the level 1, and it greatly reduces the number of challenges that cover cross-site scripting, which is sometimes labeled XSS. There's other things in here that you can attempt to get hints, but this is really starting to roll your sleeves up and get into ethical hacking, specifically in web or an API. So back to the GitHub, I listed 4 resources here. One is OWASP Top 10, OWASP Top 10 API, the Web Security Academy by Portswigger, who makes Burp Suite, and then Bug Bounty program. So I listed a nice article here that kind of gives a good high level. So the OWASP Top 10 is an industry standard that many vendors refer to when it comes to web and API, web specifically, attacks. And these top 10 things, now there's been some changes between 2017 and 2021. I even seen a 2021 to 2025. So these types of attacks are generally tested. So when you're doing bug bounty, when you get started, these are the different types of attacks you can do. And there's a lot of information here to take in, but at least it gets you started on what is OWASP Top 10, what is a broken access control, what is cryptographic failures, and so on. There's another one that I'm covering is an API. So an API is an application programming interface. That is very modern way, either a REST API or a GraphQL API, and OWASP lists similar types of attack types. If you're using a mobile device, every call when you work inside of an app is making API calls into the back end of whoever wrote it. So the website and the API is 2 things that you will be able to work within JuiceShop. The last thing I wanted to cover is the last 2 things. One is the Web Security Academy by Portswigger, and that is if you go to portswigger.com or portswigger.net, and you'll see Academy. This is 100% free, and they have developed online interactive free paths that you can do to learn web, all kinds of web and API type hacking. And all you have to do is just sign up and you could spend months out here. They eventually do have a certification for Burp Suite Professional, so you can get a certificate being certified using their product. So you could take Web Security Academy. You don't have to take it in a particular order. So if you wanted to learn about cross-site scripting, you could sign up, and they do have learning paths. I have used this, and it's one of the best resources on the internet. I do recommend that you also do use use AI, so either ChatGPT or Claude, and that'll help. The last thing I want to cover is something called bug bounty. And I'm not going to cover what a bug bounty is here, but it's a way that you can ethically do hacking against somebody's site and potentially make money. So if you find bugs and you turn it in and reproduce it properly, you could get money. So not to sell you that you can load these tools up and start doing bug bounty. That's where I suggested where you start with JuiceShop, go to the Web Academy, and really start to learn about this. It comes pretty quickly, but at least individuals that I've talked to, it's like, how do I get started? So these are what these videos are for. There's so much content and there's so much out there to get started. This is just to help guide you on your way. So definitely have to be a self-starter, but definitely encourage that. Hopefully, if you have any comments, please leave them in the YouTube comments. I would appreciate any feedback, and hopefully this is helpful.